Hello, welcome back to the series I'm doing on car repair basics of maintenance and repairs. So today, or in this part, I'm going to be changing my oil. So over here, I have my oil. For my car, I'm using 0W40 as specified in my owner's manual. This is what you should check to find what oil you should use for your car. First, I'm going to jack up my car. I'm going to show you how to properly do that. So as soon as this focuses, you can see the jack is pointing directly at a part of my car's frame, which you can see runs along here. So that's where the jack's going to be. Okay, you now join me under my car where I'm going to be removing my skid plate, which covers up the bottom of my car and protects it from rocks, dirt, dust, and other things. I'm going to try and get a work light in here so you can see better. Okay, so now we're getting into the nitty-gritty, so I'm going to start wearing gloves. Just got a pack of these from the parts store. For doing fluids, I prefer to use latex or nitrile, as opposed to just regular work gloves. Okay, and I'm going to show you where that drain plug is on my car. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but that right there is my drain plug. Come on, camera. This right here. I'm working when my car is hot. If you're just starting out, don't do this. So I'm going to drain the oil from there. You should do this at least while your car's a little warm, not dead cold, meaning it's been sitting for a while and hasn't been warming up at all from running, because you don't want your oil to be a soup, you want it to be more liquid-like. So this here is something you're going to need for this. This is an oil drain pan. This is what you drain your oil into and later will use to dispose of it. I've got some debris in here from an earlier job, but I'll deal with that later. Alright, so now what I'm going to need to do is get the correct size socket and my socket wrench in there. I'm probably going to need an extension of some sort. Now, I could be using a Haynes manual for this, but I'm a bit lazy today, so I'm just doing the guess and check method. I think it's about 17 millimeters that is. Yep, spot on. You're gonna need an extension. Sometimes you need an extender bar for your ratchet, like this one, because the bolt you're trying to get at is in a hard to reach place. So, switch it to loosen. And it's going to take some force, at least for me. Might have to break out the impact gun on this one actually. With a breaker bar. There we go. Now it's broken loose. I'm actually going to put on a second layer of gloves. Mainly, just in case. So you always want to take precautions to prevent injury. So the oil coming out is pretty hot, so just in case I'm going to put some extra gloves on. I'm switching out my gloves because the other ones got covered in oil and I don't want to fill the inside of my work gloves with oil because that just defeats the purpose of the work gloves. So I'm going to wear latex inside of the work gloves so that if oil does get on them, then it doesn't soak onto my skin. This is something I've kind of devised myself. I could get better work gloves, but I'm cheap. So, here we go. And I'm properly kitted. Okay. Now this is loose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of ingenuity here. And because it's hot, I'm going to stick this extender on here to avoid getting close to it. And just slowly back it out. You don't want to do this quickly. You want to do it slow. Nice and slow. Make sure this is going to fall into the drain pan because I don't want to spill. Go nice and slow. It's going to start coming out soon. Alright, and there it is. There's the oil. You see, this is why I told you to go slow, because when it comes out, it's going to come out fast. It's really going to go. It's really going to burst out. And I forgot to open the vent hole. There we go. Now that should be draining smoothly. And as you can see, my ratchet's covered in oil, so I'm going to have to clean this off later. Pull that drain plug out. And I'm going to set this ratchet. I'm actually going to go get a separate container to put this on. I'm going to move this back because it's starting to drip. So I'll be right back. Alright, you can still see the oil draining out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and stick it into here, which is a secondary pan that I use sometimes when dealing with fluids. So, while that's draining out, we're going to deal with the oil filter, which is up here. For me, it sits in this little canister right here, but might not be the same for you. So, in some cars it'll be down in and it'll be its own self-contained unit, encased in metal, whereas mine just is a plain filter, comes straight out of its little encasement. I'm just trying to position this camera in a way that you can see it well. Alright, I'm going to pause here and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I've now switched tripods and I'm working from the top. I'm probably gonna need a monkey wrench for this actually. I'm gonna have to go get that. Wait, I can't find the that lying around here. Don't be like me. Keep your garage organized. That's that. Tip I can uncertainty. Yep, I'm gonna have to go get a wrench, so I will be back again. Okay, I'm back with an adjustable wrench now, which I can then use to get the top off this canister here. Come on. I'm gonna need a bigger wrench. Okay, I'm back with the big daddy of my adjustable wrenches. This one. Now, before I do this, just like to say that this is not the correct way to do it. Not in any way, shape, or form, but the normal oil filter wrench, which would go over the top of this, won't fit because of this bolt thing here, which I'm going to show you now. This thing here, so it won't fit over the top. So, because some mechanic gacked the original one, or I don't know, maybe it came like this, but this is not the way you're supposed to do this, first of all, and I don't have a socket large enough because I'd only need it like once a year, so. And even a new one perhaps is cheaper than that socket, so I'm gonna try and get this off. And I guarantee you there's probably a picture somewhere of a guy doing something that looks like this with a big red circle and a cross through it saying just don't do this. So this is a case of do as I say, not as I do, so don't do this. Even if you have this hard, just don't do this. Just get the socket, for God's sake. Luckily, they did at least print the torque on this, but unfortunately, I don't have the socket, so my torque wrench won't work for that either, which sucks. So again, do as I say, not as I do, and don't do this. Don't worry about that noise, that's normal. Happened the last time. That's just the gasket complaining. But it's not leaking yet, so now it should just come straight out. I'm gonna get a towel so I don't drip oil everywhere. Tip, something you should keep around, shop rags. Without a doubt, shop rags. So I'm just gonna stuff this in here to catch any oil drips that happen before I can transfer it to the lower plate. Actually, at this point, I could probably put that drain plug back on. So I'm gonna do that. No, actually, it's still draining amazingly. We're still draining. All right, so we're just gonna have to wait a bit longer on that. Okay, so now take this out. As you can see, we are dripping a little bit of oil. So I'm gonna just dry this off a little bit using this, and we're gonna transfer it to the secondary pan I have in the part. I'm gonna move it up here for the sake of your viewing, as well as the old oil filters as soon as I can get it out. I can't just keep wiggling it because it's rather hot. Again, do as I say, not as I do. Don't work in your car while it's really hot. Just doing this because I'm impatient. There we go, that's the old one. Alrighty. To try and relieve some of the oil system pressure and hopefully get it draining fast, I'm going to remove this cap here, my oil cap. Put that over there somewhere where I don't lose it. See that change anything? Yep, the drain is starting to come to a slow crawl now. Just going to clean up some spilled oil over here. I use this root box for my car as a way to store all my tools. Okay. Here I have my new filter. I'll put this in. Oh look, it comes with a new gasket. Oh, that's good. I probably needed one of these. Oh, and a new sealing washer. Yeah, I should replace that too. So sealing washers you put on the end of your drain plug bolt. It's this little thing in this bag right here. This little washer right there. And that's the gasket. That will go around the edge of here. That hasn't been replaced probably ever. As soon as I figure out if there's a specific way that this goes in, because I don't quite remember. Oh. Yes, is this a cap? That should. Nope, that's just for that one. Okay, so this should just drop in and press it, just like that. And I'm going to get a screwdriver to place that whole gasket. Whenever you take something off that has a gasket, it is usually good practice to replace it. Again, another thing, not necessary, but good practice and just something that generally should be done. So I throw that away. And now that I have my new gasket, again, do as I say, not as I do. Don't open things with teeth. Actually, you know, I'm not going to open things with teeth. I'm going to use my multi-tool, which I told you to keep close by, because this has scissors. Just need some oil off of that. Put that over there. Well, that worked out brilliantly. Okay, now that I've got that, put that back in its case. I'll stick that somewhere where I won't lose it, or if I do forget to take it out, where it won't get thrown around in the engine bay. By the way, before and after, make sure, after a job, make sure all your tools are accounted for. I wasn't in the habit of doing that before, I am now, and I often end up driving around with tools still in my engine bay. Luckily, I never caused any damage, but again, do as I say, not as I do, and make sure you aren't leaving any tools behind. Not only can it damage your car, it can damage the tools themselves. And I know, tools aren't as valuable as your car, but you'd be surprised sometimes the parts damage are less expensive than the tools themselves. Just that's back in. Screw this back on. And now again, we enter the do as I say, not as I do portion. Because I don't want to invest in specialty tools for this car. Because I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope a long time. And B, if I will end up wrecking it, because this car is worth not all that much at this point, probably $2 or $3 grand. So because it's a BMW and repairs is so expensive to have done by somebody else, and I can't do body work, an accident will total it. Like any accident, like even a fender bender will probably total this car. Okay, that's on. Want to make sure it's nice and tight, not too tight so that I can't get it off again. And now I'm gonna put that sealing washer back on the drain plug. I'm gonna slap that back together, and I will join you for the filling of the oil. Alrighty, so now all that we have left is putting in the new oil. So I've got a funnel. Let me grab that. It's been sitting for a while, so I'm going to clean it first. I've removed my gloves because they're no longer really necessary. Okay, it's now empty and free of spider webs. Now that is that, I'm going to start adding the oil. And of course it's got a tamper-proof seal on it, so again, back on multi-tool. And knife. Okay. Alright, I'm pretty confident that's not going to fall off now. So, just let that off again. Now my engine
manual states it takes about 7 quarts, but personal anecdotes from the internet range anywhere from 7 to 9. So I got extra just to be sure. Don't accept just one source, look at multiple. So, just gonna pour this in. This is only a 5-quart jug, so not gonna overfill the oil by just using this. Next one, however, I'm gonna have to start measuring as I go along. By the way, I checked the manual, the Haynes manual, for the correct torque spec for the oil drain plug, and put that back on the correct amount. You should do the same. It was 18 foot-pounds, so I applied that using my torque wrench. Alright, before adding more oil, I'm going to give it a moment and check the dipstick. Real quick. And as expected, it's a little bit low. So just put that back in and take it out again and check. Yep, a bit low. So I think I might have not let it drain for long enough. Like there might be maybe a quart, half a quart of the original oil that was in there from last time already in there, but that's fine. These oil changes, you can do them anywhere, based on this car, from like every 5,000 to every 15,000 miles. I do it every 7,500. Meet that nice happy medium. So it's okay if there's some old oil left in there for me, because I always change the oil early rather than late. Now, right now the car's raised up, so when I drop it back down, I'm also probably gonna check that oil level again, because the slant that the car is currently simulated, or that's currently simulated for the car, could affect my engine oil level. So let's wipe that off again. Stick back through. Stick back out again. And we are right at the top. It looks like I filled it perfectly for now. So I'm gonna take it one more time. Yep, right at the top. Perfect. So I'm going to drop the car down after I put the skid plate back on. This will be where I leave you. I'm just going to put finishing touches on. These are things that don't really need much explaining, like, you know, putting those underbody panels back on, checking for leaks. You just got to make sure you're not dripping any oil afterwards. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me.